Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to Supergirl. This time we're on season 5, episode 10, titled The Bottle Episode. No emphasis on the title, it's just called The Bottle Episode. But we are now officially in a post-crisis Arrowverse, and that, I mean, like, you know, for people who saw the ending to the Crisis will know that means that we are in a not just in a post-Crisis Arrowverse, but we're in a rebooted multiverse. Oliver's sacrifice and his work actually rebooted the multiverse into something new. So we saw glimpses of other Earths that are out there and what other characters are out there. So it's like the characters within the Arrowverse haven't been made aware of them yet, but products of the other DC TV shows are just other Earths within the Arrowverse. So like Titans is Earth 9, Doom Patrol is there, Swamp Thing is there, Stargirl was there also. Like, those are characters like within the universe that are just of a different Earth, pretty much. So it was cool to see that. But now the post-crisis Arrowverse, the main Earth is Earth Prime now, and it's where everyone lives together. You know, it used to be that Supergirl had Earth 38, and Black Lightning had his own Earth as well. So I don't know what Earth he was originally from, but he was from another Earth, and Pariah fetched him out. But now they're all living together on one Earth, and you know, like Star City, Central, National, everything, Freeland is there, everything all on one Earth. Argo City is in their universe now as well. So things moving forward, things are undoubtedly going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see how things actually unfold now that the heroes are within connecting distance to one another. Like at the end of Crisis, we even saw Kate at Kara's apartment, hanging out with them during the presidential announcement thingy. So yeah, I think it's. I mean, I'm not expecting it to end anything major soon, but I mean, it does open up to a lot more stuff. But now, how we go forward with Supergirl's story is what I'm concerned about, because the way Crisis opened, Earth 38 was destroyed. So that alone raised the question of like, okay, how do we go forth from here? Like Leviathan. Last time we were with Supergirl, she was facing off against Leviathan, and that was the thing. Like with Leviathan, it was just like Ramakhan was kind of somewhat defeated, like he was injured from battle, and then Gamemne came along and said, you know, your time is over, it's my time now. The council has decided that, you know, your approaches no longer work, so now it's time for me to take over the spotlight. So Gamemne is supposed to, but I mean, I don't even know if Leviathan is even a thing now, or if there's a new threat to take hold of. But you know, I mean, even to Star City, like things have changed. Like, you know, it's a new universe. Only the Paragons know it was ever any different. But we have what do we have? We have Lex is in charge of he's the employer of Supergirl and the DEO. The DEO is a Luthor Corps subsidiary, so she's literally under his employment, and he won a Nobel Peace Prize. So apparently we live in a universe where Lex is considered a good guy. So, and apparently he's Kara's biggest supporter as well. Like Alex said that, you know, like Lex and Lena, next to Lena, Lex was Supergirl's biggest supporter and fan. So I don't know what that actually means for Supergirl anyway. But we will see. The Crisis was some crazy shit. So going forth, I have no doubt that these shows in themselves will also consist of some crazy shit. So yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I mean, I'm just like, I don't know how they're actually gonna go forth with like a new threat, or if Leviathan is still gonna be a thing, if Oliver actually took out any existing threats they have, except for Barry's, because his threat was already taken care of and he was just getting ready for Crisis. But yeah, I don't know where to go from there. But yeah, that's pretty much kind of like all I'm really thinking about going in. So without further ado, let's get into the episodes. Episode 10 of season 5, the Bottle Episode. Let's go.
Thank God Jean gave me my memories back. Yeah, I know.
Okay. So Alex has her memories back then. Okay.
I made that mistake once. I'm not gonna do it again.
Oh, so she's back to not knowing.
But I refused to do so unless he promised that you would make it through okay, and you have. With your noggin intact.
You gambled the fate of the entire multiverse to get your own way.
It gets better. Kara Danvers will never see things your way.
And there he is, back to his manipulative ways.
The world is... What the hell is Leviathan?
Oh, he doesn't know about Leviathan? That might make sense. I think he didn't know about it before, did he?
You know, I'm with my actions.
Is Nia wearing a choker?
Favorite breakfast smoothie.
Is that a choker?
And, despite every urge in my corporeal...
Brainiac 5.
What liar!
You, sir, are the larcenist and pretender. How did you accomplish this ruse?
Could it be an
Oh, what?
The question of pretending is...
There are two brainies?
What are you, huh? Oh, that's rich.
How do they both know about the D? And they've handcuffed to each other. What the hell is this? How are there two Brainiacs? Ah, Super and Luther.
Here I am. Lex gave me the same pitch.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
You're not seriously considering, are you?
Lena!
Just be
No, you're smarter than that. Don't give in to Lex.
I'm sorry, who the hell are you?
I'm Director Brainiac 5 of the
Whoa!
I am the director of the DEO.
Why is everyone yelling?
What the fuck is going on here? Oh, that one's Spider-Versing. That one's Spider-Versing. He's glitching in and out. Wait, is that Megan Rath from Being Human? Is that who she, is that who that is? I think. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think maybe. Wait, that's his sister, isn't it? Oh shit.
So you are all Brainiac 5.
Yeah, that's Jesse Rath's 2 and 2 together. It literally just happened within those 5 seconds. Yeah.
Perhaps we should go.
Someone want to fix that Spider-Versing?
I'll go get Supergirl.
Jesse's doing a terrific job this episode. Doing a terrific job.
Here. Owls.
Everybody just showed up out of the blue last night.
Owls?
This has never been better.
So everyone in this bar came from an Earth that was destroyed.
They're all orphans.
Uh,
Terrible.
The
okay.
entire multiverse was destroyed.
I never thought I'd live to see the day.
Lillian. I was about to say Linda because it's well, never mind. Lillian.
Lex restored your memories.
You lost her.
No. She's with me. She lives on in the big brain.
The
Just
big,
as I will when my work here is finished.
big brain.
I'm sorry. I'm Nia.
Is that an Earth in a test tube?
My brainy filled me in on everything, and I just had to see you all for myself.
Is that Earth in a test tube?
I brought lunch. He also said something about a bottle.
A bottle.
Hold on.
Oh damn.
But I'm glad.
That is badass. That is badass.
Moments before the antimatter wave came,
Earth in a bottle.
life.
Oh shit. No, no. Oh, you dick. Wait, so if he opens that bottle, would that Earth just be destroyed, or what would happen? Okay, there we go. Oh, Lex portal. Oh god, Nia.
He was piggybacking off.
That anger terrified him. He feared that I too could hold such darkness within me. So he placed 3 personality inhibitors on me. The same ones I wear to this very day.
Your 3 dots.
When I wear them, I
Those are personality
with
inhibitors.
a clue and network of minds, the big brain.
It's like a hive mind.
Magic.
The witches can open the bottle.
He's going to Owl's. We have to tell
The
him
witches can open the bottle?
No,
Really?
I need to do this alone.
No, just do it.
You come too.
Yeah, work together. Oh shit. They're already working on it.
It's been ages since we had a good bar fight.
Oh crap. Okay. You want a bar fight? Have a bar fight. Have a fucking bar fight. Oh, chop the throat. Oh. Oh god, tell me he's okay after that. Oh, he's cracked one of his inhibitors. Oh, one of his dots. He broke one of his dots.
I love you.
You're really gonna do this to me? You're really gonna do this to me? Okay, alright. Okay, and they're off. The inhibitors are off, and he's turning green. What, is he hulking out? Is he hulking out? Whoa, okay.
You made some bad choices, but they don't have to define you.
So this is what he looked like originally. A beautiful green boy. Or a gorgeous green boy. Hey, that one works.
The suave one is right. It is too much of a risk.
Oh, now you say that, huh?
Chance they may find a way of returning us home one day. All we can do is wait for that day. But you don't have to wait alone. We can wait with you.
You're not the only one who lost something. You can all unite in your pain. And he's back on his Earth. And they're going into the Earth as well. So they're being bottled up too. Okay, so they can wait together. They can wait together. You did it! He did it! The gorgeous green guy did it! So they can just transfer this shit, huh? Oh, and they're going inside him. Okay.
If you're gonna save your world, you have to work with Lex Luthor. I'll show you everything you need to know.
Really?
Everything I did wrong in my world.
That's the only option?
You must give up everyone and everything that you hold dear.
No.
Till the world has been saved.
No.
Crow.
I hate these ultimatums. No, I hate these ultimatums. I don't like that. I don't like that. Great, so now he has 3 new dots. He has 3 new dots on his body. Okay, so he can't change back from this form, can he? He can't change to a human appearance. Not that he needs to, he looks great, but... This is another bottle?
The truth seeker.
Oh, a truth seeker, okay.
So sis,
When will you turn on me?
as soon as this partnership inconveniences me. Just like you'll use Nano Cherry on me as soon as you get the chance.
Yeah.
As we're clear.
Together, that's what has to change.
No.
I can't be with you anymore.
No! Don't you do this to me!
I
No!
don't understand.
No, 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 no. Don't you break up on me now. That's it? You're just gonna break up and then walk out? What?
Welcome, everyone.
None of this makes sense.
It gives me great pleasure to be here tonight.
I could use your help. Someone has to protect the world from the Luthors.
Not the Luthors.
To do good.
Just Lex, yeah. Mainly Lex.
We were partners when we took over the last world.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Why shouldn't we be partners in this one
my
too?
brother,
Oh,
partner,
good
Lex Luthor,
goddamn.
the man of tomorrow.
I have reason to believe a particular doppelganger came through the wormhole. He's already been arrested, but if we play our cards right,
who is it?
we can bring the future to us.
Who is it? Win? Is Win coming back? Is Winslow coming back? Is he returning? Aww. Winslow's coming back. Okay, okay. That's a nifty little surprise. That's a nifty little surprise. This is not the comfortable return after Crisis that I thought this episode was going to be. Not in the slightest. No, no, no. So I started running out of space to write shit. That's literally what happened. Like I was writing and writing. Like I've taken up the entire page pretty much. But yeah, so Megan Rath, that was a nice part. I think I didn't recognize her at first. I don't think, because like I mean, I've seen her, but I haven't seen her, which is a very, very kind of contradictive kind of sentence. But I've recognized her because I've seen clips of her from Being Human. She played the ghost. Like there was a UK version, the US version. I first watched the UK version, being from the UK and all, and then discovered that there was also a US version. And funnily enough, Sam Witwer was in the US version as well. He played the vampire, and Megan Rath played the ghost. But Being Human is an awesome show. If you guys haven't checked it out, then you should definitely check it out. Being Human is an amazing show. But yeah, Megan Rath, I think she is the sister of Jesse, which somehow took me longer to come to actually come to terms with than her being in this episode. But yeah, so Megan Rath was another universe's Quell Dox, a female Quell Dox. Although the Brainiacs were somewhat well explored in this episode. I think there are alternate universe versions of them. And I think this also kind of brought in this did a good enough job of somewhat exploring what the new world actually means for its population after Crisis. Like the fact that it is one universe. I mean, there is a multiverse out there, but it's not directly it's not directly connected to the Arrowverse. The other DC TV products and movie products, they are alternate universes, but they've yet to actually interact. So it's like, it's all on the same playing field in different kind of sectors, but this is the one we're focusing on right now. This is the one we have control over, but this is a nice glimpse of what else is out there. But the one that they live in now, the universe they live in now, to their knowledge at least, it is the only one there. So that means other universes, other Earths have been destroyed. They just haven't been brought back because before the Paragons were sent to the Vanishing Point, the Anti-Monitor managed to destroy the Infinite Earths. He took out all of them, and Earth 1 was the last one remaining. He still took that one out, so all the other Earths were gone. So after that, it was a matter of kind of like time travel and speed force travel and all that sort of stuff. And then afterwards, Oliver's sacrifice actually managed to kind of to reboot everything into one combined universe. But then that does mean that there's only one Earth left and one universe, one solar system, one version of all these different planets and races and stuff. But then with this one, I think they all managed to somehow the Brainiacs managed to somehow actually find their way into Earth Prime. And as a result, the Brainy we've had all along was Brainiac Prime, because he is the one of Earth Prime. But yeah, so Alex had so Jean. They mentioned most of the heroes who helped out with the Crisis. Not everyone, but the heroes who helped out with the Crisis had their memories back. But I'm assuming Jean had a helping hand in that, because in Crisis he did go around restoring the memories of non-Paragon heroes who were in the Crisis, like the Arrow team, Caitlin and Ray as well. Like he went around refreshing their memories and actually giving them the update on what actually happened. So I assume somewhat the same thing happened on this one. So Alex, Brainy, Nia, and Kelly all had their kind of memories of the original thing restored, and I think that kind of raises questions about what it means for the timeline, because I think they're they start off living in this universe for what seems like all their lives in what seems like a normal universe, and then suddenly Jean just comes along and tells them of a totally different timeline and multiverse that did exist that no longer does. So then they still retain the kind of memories of what happened in that one. So this new universe is one where seemingly there's somehow no threat or no imminent threat just yet. I mean, we know that's not true. Gamemne made an appearance, and so that means Leviathan is still out and about and kicking. So kind of just raises a question of now that they have their memories, what do they do with it, and how do they actually approach the future, knowing that things did occur differently originally, and that for the Paragons it was definitely a timeline that they still lived through. The Paragons are the only ones who lived through the original timeline, but the other kind of fighting heroes actually just kind of they just remember it now. But I mean, they remember it happening, but would they remember having lived through it, or like, well, like how much would that change things? Like, you know, because I mean, in this new universe, like how would the past threats have differed? Like, would they still like would like in this new rebooted universe, would they still have gone through the stuff with like with Supergirl, for instance? Would they still have gone through the threats with the other Phantom Zone Kryptonians, like her Aunt Astra and stuff in season 1, the DinahMight threat in season 2, stuff with Rain, like the witches who made Rain were here, but would, like, in this new universe, would they still have faced those threats, or would they have been completely different threats they faced, or would they have not really faced like as imminent threats at all, or like what would have happened? And Lena remembers everything. I think she so Lex made a deal. Lex made a deal with the Monitor. So, I mean, in that finale episode, we did see Lex playing chess on the Monitor's little space platform thingy, and he did say, I mean, yeah, that episode did end with Lex saying, you know, we need to talk about my sister. So, I mean, I think my assumption at the time was like, you know, oh, we need to, like, you know, we need to keep an eye on her, or like incorporate her into Crisis somehow because she's going to be a big help or something. But no, the deal he made with the Monitor was that she would make it through Crisis safe and sound, which I don't know how that would exactly work because the Infinite Earths were destroyed and she wasn't on the Wave Rider and she wasn't a Paragon, so everyone non-Paragon died. So, I mean, that was out of his control, but at the same time, but his deal was for her to make it through with her memories and her mind intact, so she would remember everything that happened before. So no memory restoration for her, but she makes it through alive and safe and with her memories intact. So she remembers everything that happened with Lex. She remembers everything that happened with Supergirl, like the, you know, interpersonal relationship dilemmas that they went through back at the beginning of season 5. So yeah, but yeah, then Lex is just everyone's favorite guy, pretty much, or at least most people's favorite guy. I mean, the ones with common sense and restored memories know not to trust him, but for the most part, he is like most people's kind of favorite guy, being given the Nobel Peace Prize and being seen as the man of tomorrow. Like, you know, he sees himself as the big man now, and that's always been kind of his towering ambition, to be the only one seen as like an actual man and a hero. So he has that. But Lex saying he wants peace and that he wants change, and that dying changed him. Seeing the fact that death was possible, because I think, you know, he was definitely. I think it wasn't just the fact that he was egotistical. I think he was undoubtedly egotistical, but it was also the fact that he was so sure of his ability to defend himself and to fight for himself, but also his ability to, you know, have contingency plans for his own plans. The fact that, you know, he never thought that he would ever actually end up dying. Like, his enemies would never defeat him. He'd always be one step ahead of them. He's always willing to kill. He can always kill to get ahead of the curve. But then, you know, out of nowhere, his sister is the one that kills him, the one thing he never saw coming. Like, he even said in that episode, like, you know, oh, Lena, you're not really going to shoot me. And then, bang, 2 in the stomach. So then, yeah, so because of that, like, and also, like, him just being a part of something so universally, like, massive, like him being a part of, like, a plan to save the multiverse as a whole, like, just knowing the real scale of things, and, you know, being in leagues with a cosmic entity and shit, and going around to different universes and stuff, like, I mean, that alone, like, he died and was brought back, and then his immediate go-to plan was to steal the Book of Destiny and go around killing Superman. Took a while for that change to kick in, huh? Like he comes back to life, taunts Kara over it, and then decides to hop off the Wave Rider and go around killing alternate universe Superman. So that's literally the first thing he does after being brought back to life. So yeah, that change took a while to kick in, and it's one of the reasons I'm saying, like, truth seeker or not, I don't trust him. But yeah, he wants watchful coexistence. I think he knows deep down he can't be trusted. He knows that's what Kara and Alex and everyone else sees. So he's like, you know, you get to watch me, I get to watch you. Like, you know, we can watch each other. Just, you know, make sure we're all minding our own business and not doing anything sneaky or, you know, backstabbing. But truth be told, I think he is just kind of keeping them under his control and kind of, you know, not doing anything rash or not doing anything that's out of his control, but waiting until he can do something beneficial for himself that they can't control or stop him from doing, which is pretty much what he does all the time anyway. And yeah, that Truth Seeker scene, I'm hesitant on that because so the Truth Seeker, so it prevents you from telling a lie. It prevents you from telling a lie. So if someone asks you a question, you can't lie. That's what he couldn't do. He couldn't lie and say that he really was a good man to Lena. But can he hide stuff? She didn't ask him if he was hiding any future agendas, any future plans, or if he was hiding anything from her. She just asked him, are you gonna work peacefully with me? Are you gonna try and end this or kill anyone or do anything that I'm not gonna like, or do anything that would be inherently bad? And he said, that there'll be no unnecessary homicides, like he won't kill anyone unless he absolutely has to, or if he feels that he has to. So very Lex Luthor-y, and that would be the Lex that Lena recognizes. But she didn't ask him, she did ask him if, if this new relationship was going to change at any point, or if he was going to back out of the deal, and he did say only if it inconveniences me. So then again, that's very Lex Luthor, but at the same time, it's like it's not. I think it's not explicit. I mean, that alone would say that if he doesn't see anything in this for his own gain, he might just walk out of it. He might not hurt her. He might not hurt anyone else. But if this plan no longer works for him, then he might back out of it and then just go do something else. But then what that something else is the question. Like if he moves on to something that is, explicitly more harmful, but it's more beneficial for him, being Lex, he would move on to that new deal. He would move on to that new thing. So, again, it's just many reasons why you can't trust Lex Luthor. Many reasons. But yeah, and even just Lillian putting in a good word for him with Lena when she went to see Lillian. So mother and son working together to be the big baddies, just like always. But yeah, that was that. What else? So yeah, so only one combined universe. So I mean, in this case, so what would that mean? So yeah, okay, so they explored it in terms of what would happen for the Brainiacs. Like the Brainiacs of different Earths actually managed to, to move over to Earth Prime, or to be left on Earth Prime. But like that brings up the question, like, what about the other Earths? Like, what about the other people? There were people on other Earths. Are they gone? Are they have the doppelgangers somehow kind of moved to inhabit one body or something? What's happened to the other people of different Earths? Because the universe is rebooted and it's given a new chance for people to live out their lives, but then is that all of the Earths? Like, is that the infinite Earths combined into one, ergo the infinite kind of people combined into one living person with only one dominant mind? Or like how does that one work? How does that one work? Because if it's one universe, then assuming it's still at the same size as the original universe. So, I mean, the universe is ever expanding. It's fucking massive, but it's ever expanding. So, assuming it's still one kind of universe on itself. But like, what would that mean for the people? Like for the other Earths? Like, I mean, a new rebooted universe. Does that mean all of the or does that mean all the Earths that were destroyed by the Anti-Monitor have been brought back but then condensed into one? Or does it just mean that, a few Earths, or like just one new Earth has been created with... Because, I mean, again, Oliver was the one that made the new universe. He was the one that made the universe, so on his side, there could be just a little bit of bias, because he did create it with his friends and his family and his allies in mind. He did create Earth Prime with his allies in mind, one universe for them all to protect each other. But then, I mean, that would be the bias. But then, like Oliver, he would also take. I mean, he would also take into consideration like the other innocent civilians that lost their lives to the antimatter wave and all that sort of stuff. So it would be like a new universe for them to live on. But if it's just if it's just one condensed universe, then you know, like what would that mean for the other Earths? Like, 'cause like I think not everyone has the privilege of having their Earth bottled up and then being like the survivor that carries it around with them and stuff. So yeah, I guess that is kind of my main question. Like what would that mean for the people that died in the other Earths? Like are they now living in one mind and body on Earth Prime, or are they gone, or what's happening there? But I guess we'll have that question answered. If you guys have any theories on like about that one, then absolutely feel free to comment it down below. What else? Because you know, 'cause I was thinking like in this episode we had other doppelgangers too, like the people of Rain, they're like the witches of Rain, the owls bar. There were 2 owls. So like that kind of had me thinking like, wait, so are there now are there now doppelgangers like living on Earth Prime? Because with Earth 38, likely there were people on Earth 38 that were doppelgangers of people on Earth 1, and what they did was move everyone on Earth from Earth 38 to Earth 1, and then throughout, I think it was in like another episode that, you know, like some of the heroes were actually tasked with going around to all the surviving Earths as quickly as they could, rounding up all the civilians or as many as they could, and actually bringing them over to Earth 1. That's what they were doing. They were getting everyone and they were taking them back to Earth 1. So with this one, it's like it kind of gives us a glimpse, but it also kind of it raises the question of, does that mean it's the same for everybody? Like did like all the doppelgangers make it back? I mean, that would be one overpopulated Earth. That would be a severely overpopulated Earth. Like if the inhabitants of the formerly infinite universes were now all living on one universe. I mean, I guess it would have to be a universe powerful enough to actually hold them all and like big enough to hold them all. But then an Earth as a whole, like, is Earth bigger? Is Earth like the size of the sun now? Like just harboring billions and billions of people? Like, I don't know. It raises questions for me personally, but yeah, hopefully we can get those kinds of answers hashed up. I think this did give a good enough glimpse of actually what the new universe means. Like, it's not just like a new universe for people to prosper and live on. Like, no, other universes did die. People did lose their lives. They lost their homes, and now we kind of get a glimpse as to what that means for them. So like, you know, like some of them are actually living on Earth Prime. So yeah, but. Once again, hats off to Jesse Rath. Hats off to Jesse Rath. He pulled off those other brainies pretty flawlessly. I think I was confused as fuck. Like, I mean, like seeing him at the at that smoothie vendor place, like the voice like kind of caught me off guard for a bit, but I was like, I don't know what's going on here. And then they actually showed his face, and it was Brainy and Brainy just looking at each other and like, okay, wow, double Brainy, double trouble. But I don't know what to think of it at first, and then they get back to the DEO, and then more and more Brainy just start coming out. One of them had like equations written on his jacket, and he was just kind of glitching in and out. He was Spider-Versing. He was into the Spider-Versing. He was just glitching in and out of reality and just crumbling to the floor. Such a great fucking movie. But yeah, he turned out to be the somewhat evil. I mean, well, not evil one. He was just the one in the most mourning. He was the one in the most mourning. He was the one that he saw. I think he said he saw the antimatter wave coming or something, and he bottled up his planet, and he bottled up his Earth and his people to actually save them from the antimatter wave. And he was the sole, like he was the one survivor. So. I mean, if they're bottled up, does that just mean they're living in the bottle, or are they like frozen in time and space, or what's happening there? Like, what is this bottling technology? Because it sounds pretty rad. I mean, it's been called out to be somewhat dangerous, and you know, it's actually it's Coluan technology. It's a Coluan piece of tech, and it's a inherently Coluan kind of method of doing things. From what Megan's Carl Doc said, but it is something that they do. And Brainy himself, like Brainy Prime, I mean, he hasn't done it before, but he has kind of, I think he did tell that story of like going on a vacation to like a snowy place or like a snowy planet or something. And I think, given how old he actually is, and that he's from the future, I wouldn't say it's impossible that his family went on a vacation to a snowy planet. But he loved the snow so much as a child, and he just didn't want it to end. And his mother saw his passion and his unending love for it, so she bottled up the planet for him to, I think, probably to keep or something. And then his father definitely disliked that. He strongly disliked that, so he undid it. And saw how much it pained Brainy to see him do that, and he was afraid of what that would do to him, so he put personality inhibitors in. So the bottling thing. So yeah, I'm wondering if like the people are still living on the Earth in like just frozen in time and space, or if they're actually, you know, like if they're actually just kind of living their lives in kind of. I mean, I think it might make more sense for them to be frozen. Yeah, because then that would put more things at stake, and given how adamant that Brainy was to actually undo it and to save his people, I think that would make more sense that they were frozen in time. There was like kind of like they were kind of adrift, and he needed to save them. He needed them to live again. He needed that Earth to live again. But then the consequences of opening up that bottle would be that both Earths would be destroyed, which makes sense because you're opening up a planet whilst on another planet. If that planet comes out of the bottle, it's going to enlarge, it's going to destroy both the Earths. It's not going to be a happy picture. No one's going to live. Very, very kind of counterintuitive. So that makes sense. But bottling, I think one thing I've heard, I don't know if this is the same thing. Don't know if this is the same concept or if maybe this was adapted from this. But I think I've heard of the bottle city of Kandor, which if I recall correctly, it's a city on Krypton, which was bottled up right before Krypton was destroyed, and that's where Superman visits. I think maybe that like Argo City could be this version of that. Like Argo was a city on Krypton that Kara's mother managed to salvage before Krypton's destruction. So I don't know if like, I mean, it's not called the Bottle City of Argo. It's called Argo City, but it is inside a dome on like a chunk of planet that's left over. But the Bottle City of Kandor is something I've heard of. It's what, like when they were talking about bottling planets, it's what reminded me of it, like bottling planets. We bottle cities. The Bottle City of Kandor. But yeah, I don't know if that's the same thing. But yeah, bottling is, I think it's bottling just in general. I think maybe it's just seen as a really kind of controversial kind of thing. Like, I mean, and I guess like that would mean that, you know, it's not exactly like a healthy thing to do. Like you're bottling up a planet, so you're cutting off its kind of not cutting off its source of life, but also just putting it in a state where it can't live on, but it can't die. It's frozen. Like people. And the people in it are frozen. I mean, you know, it's just like not really a good thing to do. Pretty much, it's just kind of like, you know, keeping something for yourself, but also taking away the freedom of the planet itself, and kind of stuff like that. So it's a very, very questionable thing to do, and maybe something that was outlawed or like just kind of seen as taboo, or like, well, maybe, I mean, maybe taboo, maybe not, but just something seen as controversial and questionable by the Collywans. So yeah, that was the bottle. But yeah, so Brainy, so his 3 dots are personality inhibitors. That is something I didn't know. I mean, we've only ever seen him use one of them. Like the one on this side is the one the only one we've ever seen him use. I always thought they were part of him because he was techno organic. I didn't know they were removable things. But I thought there was a case of like, oh, they're like little light bulbs or sort of like LEDs on his head that literally wire into his brain or something. I mean, chances are that, I mean, given that they're personality inhibitors, they are like connected to his brain, but like to control how he, like, you know, how he is towards other people and how he is in life. But yeah, I don't know, like I mean, he is a good guy at heart. But then I always figured that because of that, like, you know, his dots were just there to control his appearance or to control something else, like, you know, how blue he is or how turquoise he is. But no, the personality inhibitors were given to him by his father because his father saw the pain that he had at losing his bottled snowy planet. So he gave him personality inhibitors to stop him from turning evil as a result of that pain. which also kind of like makes sense given that he said his ancestors are very bad people, and we saw it in season 4 when his connection to his ancestors was unleashed after being beaten by the Liberty dudes. He did kind of like go a bit more evil and a bit more kind of selfish, taking down the guards and leaving Nia and John on Shelly Island and stuff like that. So all that stuff is kind of like, well, that's born of his connection to his ancestors. That's not something that Brainy himself did, but I mean, but we get somewhat of like a deeper kind of exploration thing towards what Brainiac is and who Brainiac is and how they're all connected. So they're all connected to the big brain. The big brain is what they call it. So I think that's like the Brainiac hive mind. And because there are other Brainies, and not just throughout time, now throughout space as well, we know that there are alternate dimension or alternate universe Brainies that all connect to the big brain. So the big brain kind of crosses time, and as well as the dimensional barriers that might separate them. So the big brain actually allows them all to be connected to one hive mind. And when we first met Brainy in season 3, I believe it was. What is it? Yeah, season 3. He said his name was Brainiac 5, and me being me, and like, I mean, back then I was only aware of like the only Brainiac I was aware of was the villain, because I had been playing a bit of DC Universe Online. But Brainiac, I knew of Brainiac as a villain, so I didn't know if Brainiac 5 was one of those villains or if this was another like a different thing. But Brainiac is a villain in the DC Universe, which is one thing I'm aware of. So I was curious as to whether or not Brainiac 5 had any connection to that, or if this was that Brainiac maybe just turning evil down the line or something. But it turns out no. He says his ancestors are very bad people, and I think he's from like the 53rd century, so his ancestors are like, you know, people from like the 30th, maybe 40th as well. So so maybe like the kind of, I don't know, like the first few Brainies. The very first kind of like Brainies who actually like came into being were pretty bad inherently as well, maybe. But then those those Brainies still existed, so they're still connected to the big brain, to the hive mind. So Brainiac 5 still has a connection to those evil and bad Brainies. But yeah, so his personality inhibitors stop him from turning evil as a result of his pain. That was the original plan for them, but I think he also, because his mind is techno-organic, it's also connected to the hive mind and connected to those ancestors of his. I think that also, like, taking the inhibitors off also is a safeguard against him perhaps gaining a deeper connection to those ancestors and actually, you know, understanding where they come from or learning to be more like them. So it inhibits that as well. So taking it off is a risky move, as we saw. But yeah, so we had the Brainiac kind of returning to their own place, and like Brainiac, so the surviving Brainiac 5 and the witches are all waiting inside that bottle Earth. So I think maybe they've kind of entered that kind of frozen time stasis or whatever. But they will all wait together, and that Brainiac made a good point. You know, he lost his Earth, and this is all he has left of it, like an Earth in a bottle with its people. So he needs for that Earth to live again. He needs for his people to live again. And he was willing. He was in so much pain. He was willing to do anything to do it. But then he did learn the lesson. Well, he not learn the lesson, but he did kind of learn the deeper understanding of actually, you know, what, like, you know, like being patient and actually understanding that, you know, waiting is a long game, but it also does bring you many benefits, and it's not worth actually destroying both Earths just to, you know, like, no, it's not worth taking the risk of destroying both Earths. Or it's not worth taking the risk of actually opening the bottle if there's an off chance that, you know, you can still, you know, live on the other Earth if it's going to destroy both Earths. So that was another lesson he learned. Megan Rath Curldox. Megan Rath Curldox was a female Curldox from another universe, but she was also she had faced off against Lex Luthor. She faced off against Lex, and she kind of went down that path, and what it turned into was that she lost everything. It was like she said, like she faced Lex Luthor, and it turned into a catastrophe of cataclysmic proportions. So, yeah, just using those big words. But it definitely didn't go down the path that she wanted. She lost more than she actually gained after having faced him, and she learned the lesson of facing him. So she gave Brainy 2 kind of tips. She said, 1, ally yourself with Lex, because that is going to work out for everyone better in the long run, and also cut off all of your friendships. Cut off all of your relationships and cut off everyone in your life and just ally yourself with Lex, because that is the only way, because Leviathan is the main threat. Leviathan is the main threat, that they're out and about and kicking, so working with Lex to defeat Leviathan is the way to go. That was her message. And this new Brainy, this new green Brain, this gorgeous green guy, he definitely took that message to heart. And he started off with breaking up with Nia. Now, I don't know what kind of game the writers are playing at here, because Brainiac is a much-loved ship of the fandom from day one. You know, people saw it from day one, and they loved it, and it flourished and blossomed into something beautiful. So, you know, this breakup it's not gonna last. Not gonna last. I mean, I figure, you know, Nia's gonna go to Kara about this and tell her what happened. And then Kara's going to work her kind of romantic magic that she can't seem to work on her own life. But she's going to work her magic on Nia and Brainy, and talk to Brainy as Oi. And she's going to, you know, be the one to at least help convince him, or at least be one of the people to help convince him to actually, you know, not take that message to heart so much or so badly, and to not cut off everyone from his life, and to actually, you know, resurrect things with Brainy. Because, I mean, this breakup, as hard as it was to watch, and as annoying as it was to see it become a reality, it's not gonna last long. At least I don't think. I personally don't think it's gonna last long. I think, you know, by like the next few episodes, they're gonna work on bringing Brainy and Nia back together. But also if they don't, then the fandom is gonna go batshit crazy. The fandom is gonna go crazy on the writers. The writers are gonna see exactly what the aftermath of this decision is, and they're gonna know better, and they're gonna be like, you know what, we made a bad decision, let's just put these two back together, they're so great, look at how the fandom loves them, let's just put them back together. But yeah, I mean I had a feeling, not gonna lie, I had a feeling that with the other Curl Docs telling Brainy that, you know, he has to cut off all of his relationships and, you know, not actually be with anyone, just to ally himself with Lex Luthor. I mean, allying with Lex Luthor alone, that was like a kind of, you know, like a spooky, not spooky, but like a creepy message to give. Like, you know, you have to ally yourself with Lex Luthor because that's the only way this ends well. Like that alone. But then telling him to cut off all of his relationships. So we're like, I mean, because then I thought it would maybe make more sense for like her to say, like, you know, ally yourself with Lex Luthor and convince the others to do the same. But then, you know, I think she already knows that, you know, the others will never trust Lex Luthor. They'll never actually have that kind of mentality. They'll always remember what he's done as opposed to what he can do or whatever. So then her kind of ultimatum was like, you know, oh, and you have to cut yourself off from everyone else because they won't believe you, they won't be willing to work with you to trust him, they won't be willing to work with him, so you have to cut them off. And then, of course, the first one they go to is Brainy breaking up with Nia. So, yeah, that happened. But yeah, I think I don't think it's gonna last long. I think it's gonna last for a few episodes at most, and then, you know, then the writers are either gonna see the fan response to that, or they're just gonna be like, you know what, this doesn't really work out well. Like, Brainy and Nia belong together; they work better together. So let's just, you know, take a few episodes to actually build them back together again. And it's gonna be a few episodes of Kara working her magic again, and just talking to Brainy and being like, you know, get back with her, you doofus. And, you know, stop cutting off people closest to you. So, yeah, I mean, well, the only one we saw was Nia. The only kind of, like, cutting off we saw was Nia. But I think in the coming episodes, we will probably see him distancing himself from Alex, maybe. I mean, well, I think he can't really distance himself from Alex. I mean, he might just maintain, like, a professional kind of relationship with her as an agent of the DEO, but then he might cut himself off from Supergirl as well, and just not show up for game night or not be social with them. So he will be working he will be all about work, and he'll be doing that work with Lex Luthor. So yeah, so that's gonna be an interesting thing to see. But yeah, what else? So Gamemni did show up. She was Gemma Cooper, so apparently she was someone with history who had history with Andrea. And she is cutting a new business deal with Andrea for her thing. So we know her methods of like working with Leviathan and bringing about Leviathan's agenda is actually based on tech. She did say to Ramakan, like, you know, your methods of world, like, you know, like global destruction and natural disasters, they don't work anymore. Like nowadays the world is kind of years and years advanced. They're surrounded by technology. They're in like they live and breathe technology. So, you know, the technology was where Gamemni shined. So now it is her time to shine, and she's working with Andrea, and now she's going to help bring along to further the agenda of the agenda of Leviathan in some way. So yeah, we'll see exactly where that brings us. But yeah, so Brainy's thing is green as well. His natural appearance is green. So like when he was using his personality inhibitor thing, he went all white, like silver haired almost, and kind of turquoisey. But now with this, I think he's still probably silver haired. Actually, let me go back and check that. What was he? What was he? He was, yeah. So he was kind of blondish. Yeah, I think he was blonde, and I think he had a new suit as well. I think. Yeah, I think it's a new suit. I think he still has the Legion ring. He has the Legion ring, but I think he has like a new suit on with that like little that like life projector LED thing on his tummy, and then he has two new ones as well. So it works very differently, but he's also green. So like, I mean, I was kind of concerned for a minute because they showed him taking off his 3 dots and then his hand kind of turning green, and I was like, wait, is he gonna Hulk out? Is he gonna turn into a big muscular boy instead? But no, leave that to Marvel. No, he's he's just turning green. That is his natural kind of complexion, his natural Coluan complexion. So yeah, I believe he's still techno-organic. I think that is what he was introduced as. I don't think him taking away his personality inhibitors kind of takes away from him being techno-organic, but I think he is still that. But yeah, he's back to being his original self. He's back to being the original Brainiac 5. So yeah, I think that is like a hint. I mean him taking away his personality inhibitor, so now I think this could be a key. This could be a sign that he is developing a connection to his ancestors, to not only his ancestors but to the other Brainiacs in the hive mind, in the big brain that he's connected to. He is developing a stronger connection with them. He's becoming more like them. So that's why he was more susceptible to Megan's cold doctor's advice. Like she gave him that advice, like, you know, cut yourself off. Trust Lex, like, you know, like the Brainy we know would never have gone and done that. He would have worked together with his friends to stop Lex from whatever he was planning. But with this one, he's a newer Brainy. He's more himself. So that means I think with this one, with less inhibition on who he is and who he can be and how he thinks, he has less barriers holding him back from even considering such thoughts. But now he's actually enacting them. So it made him more susceptible to that kind of stuff. So we'll see. We'll see where this stuff actually later on brings us. We'll see where it brings us. But yeah, that is pretty much all I can remember from this. It's definitely like a interesting way to return to the show. And to see where post-crisis actually brings us with this show. And I think what else was there? I think there was Williams also. I think William said his ex actually met up with Russell to buy his company, and then all like they met up and did something. So then all I think. Wait, let me go back and listen to that one actually. If I can just get it under my beanie. Come on, get on the ears. That's it. Okay, I'm gonna go back and listen to that line one more time. Oh, okay. So I thought he said an X. I thought he said an X, but he said Lex. He said Lex. Lex, when he was back working at the Times, Lex tried to buy Russell's company. I mean, we know Russell did actually run a company working with like cyber tech and like bionics and stuff. Like basically the stuff he built that the Leviathan used to make him into Rip Roar. Lex tried to buy it, but Russell refused, and then Russell ended up dead. So in this new universe, that is some history that Lex has. He actually does kill people that don't like agree to his deals or don't really abide by his own ideals, or like people who like don't agree to follow his way. He gets rid of them. So now that's why he applied to Catco to get closer to Lex through Lena, but then Lena sold Catco to Andrea, so he's even further from that one now. So yeah, so he's not like everyone else. He doesn't believe that Lex is all that innocent or all that good of a guy. He thinks he's a murderer and that he is responsible for the death of his best friend. So that's an ally. That's an ally that Kara has in the fight against Lex. Assuming there is one coming on the horizon, which there undoubtedly is. But that is So I think even in this case, even with Andrea not being that kind of a person, William can still kind of like be an ally for Kara in that mission, and still have his kind of like he still has his own mission to complete, and he still has his own kind of case to solve and villain to prove as a villain. So yes, I think we're still going to be seeing some working together and like some kind of cooperation on William and Kara's part. So that will be, I guess, interesting to see. But yeah, the ending. So Lex mentioned something about a doppelganger. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it at that. I can't be able to sort it out. Okay. So what did he say? Okay, yeah. I just saw the picture again. But okay, so two things. So Leviathan, on the one hand, they are still around, but on the second hand, they're well hidden. They're like no information on Leviathan exists in the new world, in this new timeline. Like they're not as open as they are. That's why the DEO has had trouble actually tracking them, because they have no information on their whereabouts, on what they're doing. So I think in this new world, they've maybe remained more well hidden, and they've actually gone a different path and a more sneakier path. So maybe in this new universe, Andrea never even came across them. Well, I don't know, because then Gamemni would have no reason to actually go to Andrea. So I think maybe the stuff with Leviathan maybe still went down. Maybe a somewhat different way. Maybe there's no bad history between Andrea and Lena. Maybe she never actually stole the medallion of Akrata or whatever it was. I think the medallion of Akrata, yeah. So maybe she never stole that, or maybe something else happened with it. Maybe it just went down a different path, because then, or maybe that. No, I don't know. I can't remember. I think they did mention something about it. I think Gamemni did mention like an artifact or something that Andrea found. So maybe things did roll down that way, or one way or another, but they're still kind of interconnected. So the main thing is, Leviathan is a lot more well hidden in this world, in this new time, so there's not as much information. So Lex said he needs information from the future, and he said that there's a doppelganger that came through the wormhole that they can use to help them gain this information, and he's been arrested. The doppelganger's been arrested, and the doppelganger is Win. So that Win is a doppelganger. Like a doppelganger of our Win, or like is he like a Win from the future? He's a doppelganger, so I don't think he's a Win from the future, but he's a doppelganger of Win. So Win's returning. He left at the end of season 3 to go help to the future, because I think one of his designs was imperative in actually saving the world from technological destruction, and wiping out all Brainiacs and AIs in the process. So he went to the future, I think, with Imra and Mon-El. So, but I don't think that's the version we're going to be getting in this one. He said this one is a doppelganger, so he's a Win from another Earth. So, doppelganger or not, Winslow is going to be fun to see. It's going to be fun to see Win back in his chair again, back doing his stuff. So, interested to see how that reveal comes about, and what kind of role he's going to play in this one. So, we'll see. But yeah, that one. Well, then that's pretty much all I have. So yeah, that is pretty much all I have for this episode. But I mean, I think the Lena and Kara stuff is still going on. That kind of relationship drama is still going on. I think she still kind of has trouble feeling like she can trust her after what happened, and you know it's still going down that path. So I think they're still kind of maintaining that kind of that kind of slow burn build of like that kind of slow build of trust that's happening. I think I think I have faith it will happen eventually, but I think the writers are just going out their way to show them that, you know, Lena is extremely hesitant and reluctant to actually, you know, feel to so much as feel like she can trust Kara again. But it will happen in the future. It will happen at some point. But all that matters, but what matters now is the journey, how they get there. But hopefully they do get there quickly enough. But we'll see. We will see exactly how this stuff goes down. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have. So looking forward to seeing how stuff goes forth with Brainy, and how Brainy goes about doing his new conducting his new allegiance with Lex, and his new kind of cut-offs with his old friends and family, and how things go forth, and what happens with Wynn, and everything that happens. But yeah, that's pretty much all I remember. Is there anything else? I don't know. I don't think so. Okay, yeah, but that is pretty much all I have for this episode and for this reaction. So that was Supergirl Season 5, Episode 10, titled The Bottle Episode. So yeah, that is it for this one. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next, and what you thought of everything that happened, like with the Brainiacs and with Lex and all the other stuff, and what you think is due to happen in the coming episodes, or even the coming episode alone. And yeah, that's it. So I will see you guys next time.